Will put my glasses here. I'm an old man nowadays. I need glasses if I can't read something. Good morning. Welcome to this opening of VMware TechX 300. Love the name. I still want to hear the story about what that picture is all about. I haven't figured it out yet. So I'll go to the ending today to find out. For people that don't know me, I actually assume that most of you don't know me. My name is Garsthagen, and I am nowadays work for Oracle. Sorry. I'm a VMware solution specialist at Oracle, but I'm not going to talk about that during this session, so don't worry. Why am I invited here is because actually, literally 20 years ago, I actually started working for VMware. And I was their technical trainer in 2003, and I flew around all the world to train, maybe some of you, I don't know, or I've trained a lot of the trainers that are around the world right now. And with boxes flying everywhere, we had like 4 or 5 kits. They will always be sent up front. And by doing this so much, I thought we really should do more about the technical community in VMware and getting people to share knowledge, to engage with each other and that kind of stuff. So after my life at this, I started also organizing VMware events like VMworld, VMware TSX, and those kinds of things. So that's why they asked me to open this up, as this is somewhat of a continuation of the VMware TSX events many years ago. And hopefully this morning I'll inspire you to become maybe an even more active community member of the VMware community, a community that I really enjoy a lot. Now, just a little bit about me. So I started off as a technical trainer, and when you do training courses for VMware, you sit there all day long and people do their exercises, so you have a lot of free time to play around with stuff. So I also started to make things. I like making things. I'm an amateur programmer. So one of the first things I actually made is a website myself, a blogger. I started blogging, runvirtual.com. It's still running. Not much new content on it, but it's still there. And I put all kinds of stuff on there. But I really like making things. And one of the first things I actually made was the VMware Virtual Machine Order Hotline. And this is, I think, in 2005. This is way before Lab Manager, way before vCenter was web-based. Well, it was still Windows application. And you could just go to this website, order a virtual machine online like a pizza. You type in some basic information. After the VM was provisioned, you would even query information inside the VM, like what Cloud Init nowadays does, to customize the VM. And of course, I shared this on my blog. No one ever picked it up, but I was a bit ahead of my time, I think, with this. But I really started sharing, and I think by sharing, you get so much feedback and so much love from the community. And I hope really today, and some of the other examples I'll give to you, is never be shy about sharing what you do. It doesn't matter how small or how big it is, but if you put the effort into learning something by putting it somewhere, on a blog post, on a GitHub, on a YouTube or whatever, someone will find it. Or some AI engine have trained itself on it and can answer based on what you have done before. So it is really important that we all, whatever we learn, that we share, because you really help each other out a lot. And of course, when I was sharing this and blogging, I wasn't the only one that was doing this. More and more people started doing this. And I have to say, from all the IT companies in the industry, I think VMware has one of the most lively community members, bloggers, and that kind of stuff. And especially as a Dutch person, I'm very proud, because a lot of Dutch people have been famous for sharing information around VMware around the world. And this is from 2010, the top bloggers. I don't know if you can somewhat read it. But Duncan, unfortunately not here, #1. Scott, #3. And I looked up who are the top bloggers today, and I was incredibly surprised that still Duncan and Scott are the #1 and 2 bloggers of VMware in the world still, after, what is it, more than 13 years that have been really active. Cormac is here, Frank is here. Frank, you're 14th here. I think nowadays you're 5, so you're improving over many years. But it's crazy, right? I mean, I hope you all have seen some of these sites. These were people that took the effort, made something, shared something. Some do it very often. It doesn't matter how often you do it, but by sharing, you really get a lot. So besides doing all this, I said, just sharing and blogging and making things, I want to come together with my community. So I started organizing events for VMware. And the first event that we organized was VMware TSX. This was launched at the same time that in the US, VMware launched VMworld. But VMworld was technical people and commercial people, salespeople. Personally, I'm not a big fan of sales events. I like technical stuff. So I wanted to have a technical event. And VMware TSX was done just by me and my marketing colleague, Diane. And from a content perspective, I could do whatever I wanted. I said, well, anyone can come as long as you're a VCP. So you have to be certified. I don't want to do basic, what is a virtual machine anymore and all that kind of stuff. I want to talk about real stuff, real implementations. And that's how we started off doing this. And we had quite a successful series of TSX, eventually became VMworld and that kind of stuff. But one of the things I really wanted to do, and this might all sound very normal nowadays, but I didn't want to just have PowerPoint. I wanted to make sure that people that made the effort to come to an event, that they could actually do also things like hands-on labs. And I think we started this after Paris and Nice. Now, this was not the time where you could have a stable internet connection anywhere and that kind of stuff. So we really had to bring stuff with us. And bringing big racks of servers is not an easy feat to do. So we would put everything in boxes. Nothing was really prepared. So we came there 2 days before, sat there with me and all my VMware colleagues. We would test out the labs or make them even at that time still. And then last night, the night before the event, we would polish it up, put it in a nice corner because we always wanted to also physically show the hardware. I think that's still something cool to do. And people were able to do labs on thin clients. We got sponsors with thin clients and we run, I think the first one we had 3 hands-on labs where people could really hands-on experience new technologies, the latest version of I think we had a beta version of vSphere, whatever we had at the time, stuff that people didn't have access to yet, and here they could get access to it. Besides hands-on labs, one other thing, and I really think at events like this or at VMware Explore, I don't think VMware Explore people are here, but the managers, I really like new formats. And one format I'm still proud of, and I think we should really introduce this, is that one format that we did is we asked the audience, what should be a new feature or product in VMware, and prepare something and go present it. And you'll be presenting it to the top engineers of VMware. So we really had the top engineers on there. Ole, the left guy, he's one of the VM kernel designers. The right guy, Karvik, was a product manager. So these are the top engineers from VMware. We invited them, and we invited people from the audience that we selected with their ideas. They presented what they think should be the next big feature in VMware somewhere in whatever product. And then, of course, as a democracy, we made the audience vote what the best idea was. Super high tech. And then engineering promised that the winning idea wouldn't win a prize, but they would physically actually start working on making that thing came out. And I think at that time was actually, the winner was, I think something with backup scheduling, backup solutions with VCB. Product doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. But I think that idea of that you can give back in a format like this, I think, we really should go on with that. But the event got bigger and bigger, and essentially VMware TSX, we decided to go with the VMware marketing thing. So we went to we turned it into VMworld, VMworld Europe. And the first one was in Cannes, beautiful location. I think we had 5,000–6,000 people at the first event or something like that. And of course, I wanted to go large with the hands-on labs. I really wanted to have a lot of equipment and that kind of stuff. And this was still, at that time, I said, internet was unreliable. We really had to bring a lot of stuff. So this was the end result of all the stuff that we bought. We borrowed, lent, stole hardware from all our sponsors. But I can tell you, I don't know if anyone went to VMware in Cannes, and we had this nice behind a glass wall that you could admire all this stuff. This was serious effort to get there. We worked from the Frimley office in the UK. We put all this stuff out there, and we literally ourselves shipped this into a truck to Cannes. And of course, we were amateurs in shipping. When we even tried to load the racks in the truck, it didn't even fit. So we had to unscrew the wheels of these things, and these were massively heavy. So here, I don't know if you see the guy that's doing the screwdrivers, Lee Dilworth, the VMware SRM guy, risking his life because that rack was about to fall. There's just one guy trying to prevent a massive 1,000-kilogram rack not to fall on there. So, yeah, so if you ever do a hands-on lab, I assume nowadays it's all over the internet, so people don't have shit, but take the effort. People put a lot of effort into making these things, making them available, and I think just doing hands-on is still very powerful. But things, of course, are changing. These was old days in how we ran events. I think there's still some things that we can still improve, but things are changing, right? I mean, VMworld is not VMworld anymore. VMware Explorer since 2 years. Still have to get used to this name of VMware Explorer. I love the brand of VMworld, but I guess we're going outer planet now or something like that. It's not a world anymore. But that's okay. I saw many people are coming. I'll be there as well, so that's great. Now, for you to share what are changing is, hey, you don't have to run a blog anymore if you want to share something. In the old days, well, where would you share? I don't know, you would create a blog. Now, if you have anything, whatever it is, just throw it on GitHub and people will find it. So sharing information has never become easier from that perspective. Now, one thing, of course, has changed is you don't need to ship equipment anymore. You can run VMware from the cloud. You can run it from any of the clouds nowadays. This is what I do. I have still a VMware environment at home. I should think about turning it off with the current electricity costs. But I have massive VMware environments in the cloud that I work with on a daily basis. Fantastic, and you'll hear, of course, a lot more about that today and tomorrow in various sessions. What else is changing? Well, are we still working with virtual machines or working containers? I think this is a bullshit story. I think in the end, whatever container nodes you're running, in the end, it's still running in a VM. So I think we'll still keep on running VMs, but the applications will be deployed in containers. But of course, you'll hear stuff about that during this event as well. Automation is changing. Something I'm actually very happy about because the VMware APIs, I love VMware, but the VMware APIs truly suck. They're diverse, they're not consistent, they lack things, they definitely don't have an API first strategy. And more things now, of course, of VMware are moving to standards. Terraform, Cloud Init, Ansible, and those kinds of things. And there are some sessions about that today as well and tomorrow. So definitely something, if you want to automate things, instead of doing something very bespoke, try to look at the new standards to automate things, because it will help you not just on your VMware platform, but it will also help you if you start doing multi-clouds and those kinds of things. And of course, one thing is changing is instead of having to use our own brains, we can start doing AI and make everything work out. Now, I was watching, I don't know if any of you saw the keynote of VMware Explore, a few weeks ago in Vegas. There was a lot of things about AI, and I love AI. But my first question was, well, does that mean that we're not needed anymore? We as techies, do we still have an existence? Do we still need a community, or is just AI going to solve all of our problems? So I challenged myself, because I've had a long-standing VMware annoyance. This is my VMware environment, one of my VMware environments. Actually, this is one that's recently cleaned. And my VMware environment I share with colleagues. Anyone in Oracle that wants to have a VMware environment, sends me an email, give them access to my environment, full admin rights. They can do whatever the hell they want. And they do whatever the hell they want. So I always get thousands of VMs pop up in my environment. And my number one thing is always, whose shit is that? I don't know if you recognize this in your own VMware environment, but, and for me, nowadays I'm a cloud person, this is very strange, because if you ever work with an Azure, a Google, an Oracle Cloud, an AWS, in public clouds, whenever something is created, you know who created it. It's an audit log, you can have automatic tags with it that says who created it and when it was created and from where it was created. After all this AI stuff and all the 25 years of development in vCenter, this functionality does not exist in your vCenter. So I thought, well, AI solves everything. So I asked ChatGPT, hey, can you fix this problem for me? Can you write some kind of script to do that? And of course, ChatGPT, like it does, pretends it knows everything, and it wrote some kind of script that does something. And of course, I tried this out. Did of course not work. Looked nice, didn't work. Commonly done with ChatGPT. But then, of course, I thought, no, I can't be the first. I cannot be the first that has this annoyance and done this. So I started searching. Actually, it was a difficult search. Actually, in the end, I already made it almost myself. I had one standing problem, but in the end, after starting to write this myself, my search queries on Google changed because I actually knew specifically what I was looking for. And I found someone that solved this problem 4 years ago. 5 years ago, a long time ago, and he wrote a simple script that you can create a vCenter alarm based on creating a VM. It's not really an alarm because you don't make it into an alarm, but it triggers when a VM is created. You run a script, you deploy the script in your vCenter, and now when you deploy this, whenever someone creates something in vCenter, you just see who created it and at what date. And thanks to the community, I did still a lot of work, but in the end, I found a solution. Like someone shared this many years ago. And this is that, whatever you do, please share it to do so. So if you want to actually do this yourself, slides are here, the links are here. From the original guy, I wrote a different version of it, but you can find it also on my GitHub to do. But I still think therefore the community is so incredibly important to do. So that's it from me about just some of the background, and I hope that you are a fond member of this VMware community and hope to share more. But I want to make this more interactive. So what are we going to do? I'm going to put on my glasses because else I don't see anything. We are going to do some quizzing and polling. So if you, I don't know if everyone knows how Kahoot works. Just go to your phone. So hopefully you have your phone on. Go to kahoot.it and type in 888-0345. You can make up your own name. You can be completely anonymous. There will be prizes. I have 3 stacks here, 3, 2, and 1 prizes. But please, in Kahoot, you have this option. Do you want us to select a name or can you type in your own name? You can type in your own name. Please don't go too naughty on me. Oh, there we go. Okay. So let's see. How many? Do I see a count here somewhere? Okay, there we go. You can still join. I'll go start. I hope the screen can handle this. Already more than 100. Okay. It's not just going to be a quiz. I'm also going to be asking some questions, but I'll explain while we get along. Anyone in-ish? 120. Just keep track of time. Where are we? Yeah? Anyone? I think we all have connectivity. Still going up. Okay, you can still join. I think at some point you'll get the code again in the screen. So don't worry about it. Yeah, so if you're still late, you can still see 888-0345. So you can still join while this is going on. So the polling quiz show, the VMware TechS polling quiz show. I'm not sure if my mouse clicker works with this. And as I said, there are prizes to be won. First prize, I work for Oracle. We have lots of Oracle reparation stuff. So I just quickly went to the office, stole some stuff, made a big pile for the first prize, smaller pile. So those are the prizes, they're here. So at the end, if you're a winner, just come here with your phone showing that you're whatever won, because I don't know who you are with the name you will use, and you can collect your prizes. But before we do some prizes and that kind of stuff, I want to know something about you. So first of all, I already saw where everyone's coming from, but please select on your phone where are you from. Very curious to see really how international audience we have here, and so you can a little bit familiar with Kahoot, how it all works. Keep clicking. You have to drag the map over the arrow thingy. Whoa, so someone is from Kiruna or something like that, all the way up north? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so now we know a little bit where everyone is from. A lot of Dutch people, nice to see. Of course, an important question for me. These are first for me, I'm curious to be seeing about you. How long have you been working with VMware? And I wrote it down in years, but if you want to be thinking more about versions, do you still know what VMware ESX 1.5 is? Did you start at ESX 3.0 or GSX maybe, or you just only know what vSphere 6 is or something like that? How long have you been doing VMware? Well, relatively balanced. Okay. But the majority actually are more than 5 years, so that's what I was hoping, level 3 event. So a quiz question. So this is for prizes, the quick hit. Who is this famous person? This famous VMware person has also been around a long time. Will be presenting today somewhere on the agenda. If you have looked at the pictures from the website, you should have seen it. Cormac. Is Cormac already in the room? I didn't see him yet. No? No? Oh, hopefully he'll show up, because actually he has to present. He has to present at some point. And Duncan's name is just so famous that people didn't recognize it must be Duncan, I guess. Well, the first people got, what a cool name, V-Ninja. Whoever V-Ninja is, I think that's already bonus points just for the name. So, polling question. This is multi-select. Have you ever shared anything you know around VMware online? So have you shared it on a blog? Have you done anything on GitHub? Have you ever made a cool YouTube video? If you ever, by the way, I don't want to distract you while you're answering, if you ever want to know really what VMware is all about, right, explain it to your children or something like that, go to YouTube and type in VMware Infrastructure 3. And then you'll get to see a video from me explaining together with Jeremy van Doorn what VMware is. And that's still a very funny video, because the main debate about the video is how often I say the word actually. But I was watching it, I was preparing for this, and I was looking at a lot of memories from the past. It was coming around, it's a, I don't know, 14-year-old video, 16-year-old video. Oh, okay. Most people are sharing. That's really, really good. Very happy to see that. Still, 35 people, 35%, no. So hopefully after this event, that will change. So quiz question. Again, for the points, for prizes. What is the name of the famous open source backup script made by William Lamb? I don't know if you all know William Lamb. Very active community, especially in the development section of VMware. He does always the hackathons in the US. He organizes those. I don't know, anyone, I hope if you have your home environment, you probably don't have the money to pay a Commvault or something like that. Yeah, you go scripting style. There you go. Very good. Ghetto VCB, I guess old school, but it's still, I was checking, supporting vSphere 8, still updating it, so it's still, he still maintains it heavily as well. Let's see what that does. Okay. Well, there's still more questions to come, so everyone still has plenty of chances to win. So, quiz question, again, for prizes. How often has the RV tools from Rob been downloaded from the internet? I assume, well, I can't tell me, I assume you all know this tool, right? But again, this is an example. This is such an industry standard. So I work daily on helping VMware customers move their VMware stuff to VMware in the cloud. The first thing we want to know is how much shit they have. And it's just like the word Xerox or the word, do you have an RV tools export? This is not a tool made by VMware. This is a tool by a community member that put in the effort in making this. I think he started 12 years ago or something like that. Put it online, and since then it has 1.9 million downloads. 1.9 million downloads. That's how something small can grow, and I think it's really inspiring that someone made that effort, still is maintaining this, and it's such an industry standard. Again, a guy from the Netherlands, proud to be Dutch. Oh dear. Okay. Still more questions come, don't worry. Poll, okay. Curious to find out. Are you using any kind of desktop hosting, virtual desktop infrastructure, end user computing, Horizon stuff on top of your VMware environment? The reason, of course, I'm asking, well, I'll come to that. I'm curious to see how many people are doing this. Before I worked for VMware, I worked for Citrix. I did remote desktop, WinView, WinFrame, all that kind of stuff. Oh, wow, that's a lot more than I expected, to be honest. Wow, that's surprising to me. So for the people that said no, but also actually, of course, for all the other people, there is a lot to learn about desktop stuff today and tomorrow. So there are multiple sections around VDI, doing GPUs, of course, with extreme remote desktoping protocols and that kind of stuff. So hopefully today and tomorrow, if this is your thing, there's lots of things that you actually will be able to pick up here today. And again, as said, all of these speakers, at least I assume most of them, will be at the first floor Galleria at the Meet the Experts thing. So if you also want to discuss something, that's what you're here for. Make sure you engage and don't just drink beer and all that kind of stuff. You can drink beer and engage to do. So desktoping stuff, you're covered for today. Now just a quick question. What is the default port used by RDP? You have to type this in. No multiple choice, no guessing. This is mainly, of course, who can type fastest, because I assume that most people do know this. I should have probably asked what is the port number of ICA, then I think a lot less people would have known. We're done? 3389, right? Everyone knows that, right? I don't know. I think 76 people, I guess. Not everyone knows this. There you go. So probably we'll change the... Oh, Garrett at least knows it. Okay, polling question. Interesting one. We'll talk about all these new stuff and that kind of stuff. How modern are you really? Are you just using vSphere? This is multi-select, so you can do multiple choices. Are you using vSAN? Are you using NSX? Are you using Tanzu? Are you already on vSphere 8? Are you using VMware in the cloud? Or are you just running vSphere 5.5 with VMs with Windows 2003 inside of them? I have to say, just a quick side thing, I didn't prepare much of this, so my daily job is to help customers from VMware to move into the cloud with VMware, right? Or to cloud or whatever way. And the last 10 years when I talk about cloud, people always ask me about safety in the cloud. Oh, is the cloud secure and all that kind of stuff? Because it must be less secure than my own building. So you do all that stuff and then they're at some point convinced. And then they give me their RV tools export of what they want to move into the cloud. And you'll be shocked how many Windows 2003, Windows 2000 shit is in those lists of every single company. I'm like, weren't you the one that asked me about security and all that kind of stuff? And here you're moving Stone Age technology into the cloud. It's just always mind blows me. vSAN a lot more than I expected. NSX, where's NSX? Also, okay. Okay, so again, if you have any interest in these topics, right? So for vSAN, I saw those on at least 2 sessions on vSAN, how to upgrade a vSAN cluster and on network loads and that kind of stuff. For NSX, especially having malware, I hope I can go see that. Microsegmentation, I'm assuming that's about NSX. I didn't see, but I'm assuming microsegmentation, that is about NSX. And of course for Tanzu, there are some sessions around. A funny one, I wish whatever my mom told me about containers. Really curious to see what that session is all about. And of course, if you do think about running a VMware in the cloud, directly after me, you don't have to go anywhere, is a session about does it make sense to run VMware in the cloud on Azure? Of course not, you should do it in the Oracle Cloud, but no. But there's lots of sessions there. I'll also actually be presenting something I really know something about later on today, about how you can vMotion and how the whole layer 2 network extension work and with mobility optimized networking. And it doesn't matter to which cloud, it's the same technology, so it's not an Oracle session, it's to any cloud how you can do those kinds of migrations and that kind of stuff. So definitely if at some point you're considering any of this, lots of sessions today and tomorrow, so you can learn more about that technology. Okay, quiz question again. This is for prizes, so stay awake. With what technology can you vMotion a virtual machine to VMware in the cloud? For me, vMotion still one of the most magical features in the world. I remember doing my first vMotion. I don't know if you all have that experience. Maybe I'm a stupid techie guy, but I literally remember my very first vMotion. And I remember my very first vMotion as a demo. I think doing a demo of vMotion is still mind-boggling. And nowadays, I demo vMotions literally from my home VMware server to the cloud and back. And it is as if, well, almost more impressive. I live in Zoetermeer in the Netherlands, and I vMotion daily virtual machines up to Frankfurt. I have a fiber connection at home, so I have a 1 gig up or down, so I have a good connection. And it is just like a normal vMotion. I have literally the same bandwidth between my home server and my computer and the cloud thing, and I can just literally move things miles away and back. I think it's a mind-blowing technology still today. And the technology is called VMware HCX, which I think most of you had really good. Good that some people thought green, because that's a completely made-up name. make it look realistic. But yeah, so this is something is possible nowadays. You can literally move stuff around between VMware environments over long distances using VMware HCX. I think it's incredible that this is possible. And this is what a lot of customers use, right? To move all that old shit, Windows 2003 and that kind of stuff. Oh, nothing can change. IP address needs to stay the same. Don't worry, won't touch it. We'll just move it. And that's completely possible nowadays. And we've done customers with hundreds and hundreds of virtual machines of old stuff, and they just move this in the cloud so that they can close down their own data centers. Okay, let's see how the scores are going. What is VNinja Garrett? There's still, I think, more questions to come, so don't worry. Let's see a slider. So this is a quiz question. This is for points. What is the maximum latency that you can have to do an actual vMotion towards the cloud? Is that to make it work? According to official documentation of VMware. I don't know if it's an actual technical limitation, but according to the documentation, what is the maximum latency you need to have towards your end destination to be able to vMotion? No, wrong way. That way. Dude, you guys are optimistic. No, 150 milliseconds is a lot. Right? I think to Australia is 150 milliseconds or something like that. My latency between the Netherlands and Zoetermeer and Frankfurt is 11 milliseconds. So I'm well within tolerances, but it's 100. And there was actually 10 people that had it correct. Wow, that's but you get points. Everyone gets points depending on how far you selected on this. I don't know, this Garrett guy knows a lot, and VNinja. Okay, something I want to know more about. So, have you already started, VMware, Explore, everything was about AI. I'm really, really curious. Have you already done any, and I'm not talking about ChatGPT to write an email or something, right? Have you done anything AI machine learning on your VMware platforms to support your business? No, and I don't think ever. Maybe in the future, or you've actually really started doing something. 7% already full blown. Wow, that's quite surprising and quite equal split. Did you expect this, Frank?
I'm disappointed by the 30%.
You're disappointed by the 30%. And because Frank is disappointed by the 30%, Frank has a very busy schedule these 2 days because he's giving, I think, 3 presentations about AI. And large language models and all that kind of stuff. So again, yeah, for the 30% that haven't done anything yet, and you want to know more about it, I'm definitely hoping going to see some of these things because I think AI is mind-blowing technology. I don't think it will solve everything. I think we still have a job, but there's definitely content, of course, here to do. And it is quite that's a question coming up. I'm not going to say something. Sorry. Okay, of course, question about AI. Put in the following order from old to new the major milestones in the development of AI. You don't have to make them up yourself, you'll see them on your screen. So on the top it's the oldest milestone, and on the bottom you should put the newest milestone. So what are, and I don't know if these 4 names mean anything to you. I think in one of Frank's sessions, I think he will be talking about, well, I'm going to say, because then you know that's the latest technology. No discussing with your neighbor, right? It's for points. This is... You already submitted. I only put 40 seconds on this or something, so it should go. You have to submit, right? I think there's a submit. Ah, there you go. So yeah, so Frank is doing a session around generative AI and large language models. But we want to start with rule-based systems, machine learning, the neural networking stuff, the deep learning, and nowadays generative AI. Now, of course, this has nothing to do with VMware, but it is becoming. Now, let's focus a little bit more about AI and VMware. Let's see. Oh, VNinja, where do you go? Uh-oh. So, with the newly announced private eye foundation and with NVIDIA, the relationship with VMware, this is one. How many virtual GPUs can you now have in a virtual machine? I remember, I think in one of the features in VI3 was that we could have large virtual machines. It could have had 32 gigabytes of RAM and could have had up to 4 CPUs. Up to 4 CPUs, multi-SMP processing inside of virtual. That was a thing in VI3, I think, that we could have large 4-processor virtual machines. This is announced, today the max is 8, but announced 16 GPUs in just one virtual machine. I'm wondering what that physical machine as a beast is going to look like. But it's crazy, right? The time that a virtual machine was limiting is a long past gone. And you can absolutely use a virtualization platform to fully have machine learning workloads, scale them up and down. I think that's what some of the sessions are about today. Mind-boggling to see where we have come from and what a virtual machine can do today. Okay. Most people are very optimistic here with the 16. So, machine learning sessions, that kind of stuff. Now, I did want to give all the other sessions attention, but I just heard that the agenda still changed last night, so I'm not sure how my information is up to date. But besides all of this, of course, besides machine learning, besides VMware in the cloud, besides NSX, besides vSAN, there are plenty of other sessions about more the traditional stuff, about DR, about backup and that kind of stuff that you can have. And I can't say enough that being here really makes sure is that you engage. Meet experts, meet each other. We're all an expert, except for the, what was it, 20% that is only on VMware for 5 years. Yeah, I'm kidding. We're all experts. Share with each other. And I think I saw Lisa say, I talked to a stranger. We're not strangers. We're one big VMware family. And I really hope that when you make the effort to come here, that you engage with each other, share ideas. I'll be, if I'm not going to sessions, I'll be sitting in the Galleria on floor 1, wherever that is, if you want to come talk to me. And before we go to the prizes, one final motto I wanted to close off with is the greatest community, the greatest of a community is the most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members. You guys, right? Whatever you do and whatever you share is what makes our community of VMware experts so fantastic. So that 30% that has never blogged, or has never shared anything on GitHub or anything like that, at least that 30%, I hope that you, whatever you learned in the coming 2 days, post it somewhere, right? Write a post on LinkedIn or something. Everything will be searched by AI, and when my kid grows up and he types something in ChatGPT or whatever, that machine learning engine has maybe learned in what you have shared, and he thinks it's the computer answering it. It was actually your information, of course, what that was based on. Then, so the prizes. Let's see. I don't know if it's still Garrett or V Ninja or whatever. Let's see how well we did. Unfair price. So come when you have it, make sure that you show your video. Oh, Garrett, Frank. Oh. Sully you weren't in the top at all. And Fish #1. Congratulations. Yeah, you can come up, whatever. Maybe you want to take a, where's the camera person? We had a camera. Can you, no, yeah, your video. No, there was someone with a camera. Oh, yeah, there's a camera. Come the prize winners. Is who is, no, Gareth?
He's upstairs.
Oh, you. We'll
Throw you.
Yeah, I want to take a picture with the winners.
He's coming down.
Oh, he's coming down.
That's your moment to say, calm down.
Calm down, Garrett. Let's give Garrett a warm applause when he comes here. He's, by the way, also, again, if someone is sharing, Garrett is recording all of this. He's posting it online and that kind of stuff. So I think a great example of a community member. Not the fastest, though, but I don't know where. Garrett? Is he lost in the cinema? Ah, there you go. Come, let's. Woo! Shall we? Can you guys stand here? Are you filming? Can you take a picture? Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just here. So that's just the prize winners. Yeah. Oh, many. Oh. Super. Thank you very much. Fish.
That's it.
There you go.
Perfect.
Congratulations, Frank. Another mouse pad.
Thanks.
There you go. Garrett, congratulations.
And thank you too.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for being here. As I said, I'm happy I'm still a member of this community, that I can on my daily basis still fuss around with VMware and learn new things. Enjoy the rest of today. I hopefully see you tonight at the party, of course. And next up is, of course, as I said, we'll stay here, is a session by two people, I think Robin and someone else, about running VMware in Azure. So I'll let them set up and then we'll continue. Thank you very much.